The Kansas City Chiefs were able to escape on Black Friday with the win over the Raiders, winning that game at Arrowhead Stadium by the final score of 19-17. And with this win, the Chiefs' kingdom is celebrating yet another postseason berth, and the Chiefs have now clinched a playoff spot in the past 10 consecutive years, which is just an unreal stat. But just because the Chiefs are now 11-1 with a playoff spot secured, doesn't mean that I don't have any concerns about this Chiefs team that might hold them back from three-peating. But before we get into this video, I'd like to ask that you guys hit the like button on this video and subscribe for more daily Chiefs coverage. You are listening to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy. We do daily Chiefs coverage here on the channel, and the best thing you guys can do to show support is hit the like button on this video and subscribe for more daily Chiefs coverage. But getting into a few of my concerns, I'm sure that most of the Chiefs' kingdom is going to share the very same sentiment, because I think that we've seen a team that looks good at times, but they have just lacked over the past couple of weeks the ability to put teams away. But let's get into the first major concern, which is the Chiefs' offensive line, and specifically the left tackle position. The Chiefs drafted in the second round of this past draft a left tackle out of BYU named Kingsley Suamataia. Kingsley Suamataia was going to be the starting left tackle coming out of training camp. And come week 2, against the Cincinnati Bengals, he matched up against defensive end Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson had a welcome to the NFL moment for Kingsley Suamataia. He got benched in favor of second-year player Wanya Morris, and Wanya Morris has not been much better. You've seen over the past couple of weeks, Wanya Morris has been dealing with that leg injury, but he has struggled. Against the Raiders on Black Friday, he gave up 11 pressures before being benched, and they moved over left tackle, or they moved over left guard Joe Thuney to left tackle, and they put in Mike Caliendo as the replacement left guard. So it has been a problem at the left side for the Chiefs this year. They signed free agent DJ Humphries to hopefully be the guy that can save this offensive line. And it remains to be seen if he's going to be the solution to the Chiefs' problem. I would say that he is going to be the best option, but he's coming off of an ACL injury. And so maybe that left side, that left tackle position is going to continue being a problem for this Chiefs team. And I hope it doesn't, because it's kind of reminding me of the Super Bowl back in 2020 when they had Mike Remmer start at left tackle and they just could not protect Mahomes at all. Patrick Mahomes has been pressured a lot over the past month and a half. Really, over the past couple of weeks, it's gotten really bad. He's been sacked 2 times over the past 2 weeks, and he has had, 3 left tackles. He will have had 4 different left tackles play the position this year. If we go with Kingsley, Wanya Morris, if you want to count Joe Thuney, who slid over to left tackle, and they're going to play DJ Humphries against the Chargers on December 8th, that is 4 different left tackles playing that position in a year where the Chiefs are trying to three-peat. And so the offensive line's protection as a whole is a big concern of mine, and it remains to be seen if they can figure it out. So I think Chiefs Kingdom is pretty much in agreement with me that the offensive line, and specifically the left tackle position, is a big concern for this Chiefs team. Now, the next concern might not concern everybody, but I have some big questions about this Chiefs defense. Now, I don't want to judge, I don't want to criticize too harshly, but we've seen over the past 3 or 4 weeks in particular, the Chiefs defense has struggled. And if you want to go back to the Raiders game on Black Friday, the most recent showing from the defense, they didn't give up a ton of points. They only gave up 17 points. They should have given up more if Daniel Carlson could have made, a couple of the 3 field goals that he missed. But you saw a Raiders team with fresh off of IR Aiden O'Connell, a second-year quarterback, throw for over 300 yards against this Chiefs defense that was reeling. You saw in this game, they pulled out Najee Johnson, they put in Joshua Williams and Keith Taylor. I didn't know who Keith Taylor was before he took the field against the Raiders on Black Friday, and so that number 2 cornerback spot has been an issue. But if you also want to look at the defense as a whole, the pass rush hasn't been very good. Chris Jones has had moments where he's great, but he's getting doubled and triple teamed. And so it leaves, instances where Mike Dana and George Karlaftis have to get pressure, And outside of that Raiders game where they had 3 sacks, they really haven't gotten to the quarterback over the past month and a half, 2 months. So the pass rush has been a major issue, and that in turn has hurt the secondary because you don't have, Jalen Watson, who broke his ankle. He was kind of holding this together, being that number 2 corner. He's not here. Chamari Connor's been exposed. Najee Johnson has been torched. The Chiefs are trying to find answers on the defensive side of the ball, and injuries have really taken over. Because one thing that I think is the most concerning about this defense, let's look at the last, we'll say 3 games. We want to look at Buffalo, we want to look at the game against the Panthers, and then the Raiders on Black Friday. They could not stop Josh Allen on 4th and 2, or if you want to look at the game entirely, they could not stop Josh Allen on 3rd down. In that Carolina Panthers game, they were going up against an offense with Bryce Young that wasn't very good, and when, Bryce Young and the Panthers offense had a chance to go down the field and tie the game as, time was getting close to ending in the 4th quarter, they went down the field and not only got the touchdown, but they went for 2 and they got it. And so you saw them, go up and down the field on this Chiefs defense. And then against the Raiders, you saw the very same thing happen. Aiden O'Connell put his team in a position to win, and his center, Powers Johnson just snapped the ball and it hit him in the shoulder, and the Chiefs were able to, jump on that football and win. But the Raiders should have kicked a field goal and beat the Chiefs. Similar to the Broncos, who also marched down the field on this Chiefs defense, set up their kicker Will Lutz for the game-winning field goal, and it got blocked. So how many times are we going to see the Chiefs defense fold in the final minutes of the 4th quarter, letting other teams go on game-winning drives, but they get bailed out? How many times are we going to see that? Because it's happened, I just counted 3 times. 4 times if you want to count the Buffalo Bills game that they lost because Josh Allen was just too good and they couldn't get him off the field. So I do think that you've seen the defense get worse on a weekly basis, and the offense hasn't been there to pick up the slack. And if we want to look at this from a points perspective, against Buffalo, they gave up 30. Against the Carolina Panthers, they gave up 27. Against the Raiders, they gave up 19, but they probably should have given up 25 to 28 if Daniel Carlson makes those field goals. And so I do have questions about this defense. They're not healthy. They're not playing very good in the pass rush. The number 2 cornerback spot has been an issue all year long. You have just seen so many guys play positions that they're not comfortable with. And I saw a very interesting, thing from Nate Taylor of The Athletic. He was doing a podcast with Joshua Briscoe and Chief in the North, Seth Kaiser. And they were talking about how this Chiefs defense is tired. They're tired, and Steve Spagnuolo doesn't know who the 11 guys that are going to go out there are going to be on a weekly basis. He seems to be doing a lot of mixing and matching, and he has to do that because of all the injuries the Chiefs defense has suffered. And that's a concern because our defensive coordinator is scrambling trying to make ends meet, and you're seeing guys like Charles Omenihu come back from an ACL injury and having to go over his snap count. So the Chiefs defense is just searching for answers, and right now they're not finding any success. They're getting bailed out, they're still winning, but they're getting worse on a weekly basis. And that's not saying that they can't improve next week. That's not saying that they can't get back to playing, the great defense that they were playing in the beginning of the season, but I'm just noticing over the past 4 or 5 weeks, we have seen the steady decline of this defense. And so I'm not saying they can't get back there. I'm not saying that they can't get back to being one of the best defenses in the NFL. But if you pair the injury problems with the 4th quarter defense and giving up a lot of yards to quarterbacks that shouldn't be playing that good, like Aiden O'Connell, who threw for like 340 passing yards and a couple touchdowns, that's unacceptable. He should not be doing that to your defense, and he did it. And so I do think that the defensive regression paired with the offensive line are 2 massive concerns that this Chiefs team are going to have to fix if they want to three-peat in February. But Chiefs Kingdom, that is all I have for this video. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. How do you feel about this Chiefs team? Do you think the defense is going to rebound? And what do you think of the Chiefs offensive tackles? Do you think that they could figure it out with DJ Humphries? Are these going to be issues that hold this Chiefs team back from three-peating in February. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Again, that's all I have for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe for more of the best Chiefs content on YouTube. I've been here each and every single day, giving you videos multiple times a day sometimes, and the best thing you guys can do to show support is by hitting the like button on this video and subscribing for more daily Chiefs coverage. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video, and as always, go Chiefs.